Hi guys, Darth Deuce here with another Star Wars The Vintage Collection action figure review. Today, taking a look at a 2-pack. It is the, I think, fan channel exclusive, uh, I guess, Galaxy of Heroes, Jedi Knight Revan, and HK-47. I think this is only the second of the new 2-packs they've done so far. The first one being the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, Obi-Wan and Darth Vader with the half his helmet cut off. I might get that set eventually. I'm kind of waiting to see if I can get that one on sale because these 2-packs, they're not cheap. But this is one I definitely wanted to get, being a Knights of the Old Republic, Old Republic fan. And yeah, this one's kind of surprising because we get, well, the Jedi Revan is not surprising. I figured that they would do that with the new Revan coming out. It felt like that was a no-brainer. I'm a little surprised it came out so soon because it pretty much came out at the same time as the Darth Revan. But they actually reissued HK-47. If you're a new collector, this will be a new figure for you. But if you've been collecting 3¼ stars for a long time, this was a Build-A-Droid figure way back, and I think the Legacy Collection for 2008. Way back then, for that line, figures in a wave all came with a piece to a droid that you could build if you got the whole wave, basically like Marvel Legends Build-A-Figures. HK-47 was one of them, and this figure was going for a fair amount of money on the aftermarket on eBay and whatnot. It's a figure I've always wanted to get my hands on, but just never did because I didn't want to spend the money. But now I don't have to. We got this cool 2-pack. So taking a look at the packaging first, it comes in this windowless box, but there are 2 card backs inside. Some nice toy photography on the front there. Galaxy of Heroes, nice image of HK, nice image of Revan, and you've got a picture showing you the card backs and the figures. But yeah, I'll crack this open and we'll take a quick look at the card backs. All right, now I got the figures out of their initial box. And taking a look at the card backs, really nice. Obviously, being in that box, as long as the box isn't all beat up, the card backs are in pretty good shape. This one's just like slightly like warped, but you can fix that easily. But they're even unpunched and everything, which is pretty cool. One interesting thing is that for some reason, the Revan one doesn't have the warning choking hazard on the corner there. I don't know why, but yeah, I'll take a look at the Revan card back first. Pretty nice to get the Revan figure. Pretty cool image illustration of Revan. I don't know if that's from anything. That might be a unique art they did for this card back. I'm not sure. It does have the Galaxy of Heroes nameplate there. I'm not a huge fan of that. It is a mobile game. Would have preferred Knights of the Old Republic card things for both of these figures. But I get why they went with Galaxy Heroes. This is a look that is seen in Galaxy. I think it's the only like time where the Revan character is actually like wearing this outfit in this game, because in Knights of the Old Republic there's an outfit similar to this called the Starforge robes, but it doesn't have the hood or the helmet. It just is the rest of it. So this technically isn't accurate to Knights of the Old Republic. I think the only time we see this is in Galaxy Heroes, and it's also a outfit you can buy in the Old Republic MMO. So, but still cool. I mean, I don't plan to keep these carded, so it doesn't matter to me that much. There you got a nice little right up there if you want to read that. And then HK-47, I think, is definitely the more interesting of the two. Very cool to get HK-47 on the vintage card back, even though, again, it does say Galaxy Heroes. Would have preferred that say Knights of the Old Republic. But HK-47, pretty cool image. I don't know what this is from, if it is from anything, but it looks nice. And then you got the figure there in the packaging. And again on the back, and you can get it all right up there. But I'm going to crack these 2 open and we'll take a closer look. So now I got the figures out of the packaging, and if you already have the Revan that just came out, the Darth Revan that just came out, you pretty much know what to expect with that figure. If you've owned the previous HK-47 from ages ago, you know what to expect there as well. But like I said, I never got the original HK, so I'm happy to have it here. But we'll talk about Revan first, because he is probably, I don't know. For me, I was definitely looking forward to having this version of Revan, but I definitely got it more for the HK. But he looks nice. He's mostly a repaint. The only difference outside of paint is that he does not have the soft goods cape, and he has a different soft goods lower robe where it's not all torn up. But it looks good. It still has the same hood piece, which is nice. And then the helmet is the same, just a bit of different paint. I will do a comparison with the Darth Revan figure here in a moment. But it looks good. Again, I'm a pretty big fan that they decided to go with the full helmet as it should be, instead of just being a mask. I think that looks really good. I will say on this one, this lighter like reddish pinkish paint goes really far up onto the visor, and I can't tell if it's intentional or if it's a mistake. It doesn't look like bad or anything, but I don't know. I can't tell. I think it's intentional, but it might not be. I don't know. So I'll just put the hood back on. There is like a slight gappage between the torso and the hood piece just because it was intended to have a cape attached under there, but it's not too bad. Rest of the armor looks pretty good. The torso armor looks nice. It actually has a bit of a black wash to it to bring out the detail, and it looks pretty nice to me. The white isn't like a bright white. It's closer to maybe like, it's not quite cream color either, but it's closer to a cream color white than like a stark white. The details on the belt are painted and sculpted pretty nicely. The gauntlets are a nice metallic bronzish sort of color, which I like a lot. All these individual silver like ring thingies are all painted, which is pretty cool. Got the lower plastic piece to the robe. Again, soft goods. Lower robe is nice for posability. And then underneath there, some pretty simple white pants. And then you do have some more of that bronze armor for the boots and shins, which I think looks pretty good. But not too much else to talk about. In terms of articulation, he's got the exact same as the Darth Revan figure had. He has a dumbbell joint in the neck, so looks up. Well, without the hood, it moves all around. With the hood on, it can still look up a bit. You can rotate, and this one rotates pretty freely. You might want to finagle the hood a little bit to make it look a bit more reasonable, but the posability in the neck's not too bad, and it's even better if you take the hood off. I guess I can do that again real quick. With the hood off, you can like look up really far, look down quite a bit, pivot and rotate, but you do kind of get some gappage there. You can see the joint when you move it up, so most people probably be playing with the hood on, so not a big deal. Hinges at the shoulders, they move quite well, go up a lot, they do full rotation. Single hinges at the elbows, they go about 90. I think I'll mention this on the Darth Revan as well, is I would have liked these to have a bit of a deeper bend, but not too bad. And then swivels at both wrists, up and down hinges at both wrists, which is great. Torso joint goes back really not that far, doesn't really go forward that far, but it does rotate and just a little bit of pivot. Hip joints, got the new style ball joints in the hips. They are hindered from splitting by the skirt piece or the robe. If you want them to go farther, you're going to have to pull the robe up. Just something to keep in mind. And the same thing with like kicking. Goes forward a fair amount, but again, you'll have to like pull it up if you want it to go further. I think... No, there's not a... Oh, no, there is. Yeah, there is a swivel cut at the thigh, so you can rotate that if you want. Single hinges at the knees. They actually don't go full 90. Again, would have been liked a bit of a deeper bend there. Single hinges at the ankles go up and down a fair amount, and rocker for pivot. So pretty solid articulation. I think there could be some improvements, but I'm not going to complain too much. If you want to see a comparison with the old Darth Revan figure from 2007, the 30th anniversary collection, go watch my Darth Revan review. I compare them there. I'm not going to compare them in this video because they're not exact. They're pretty different in terms of color and all that. Yeah, pretty cool. In terms of accessories, he just has one aside from the hood, I guess. He does come with his purple lightsaber. This is the same one that came with Darth Revan. Same hilt as well, but it's painted nicely. Nice purple blade. And he holds that good, as you would probably expect him to. So that looks pretty cool. That's pretty much Revan. So let's talk about HK-47. Yeah, I'm pretty surprised they reissued this guy. It's like I'm around a 15-year-old mold at this point. You know, maybe it's almost vintage, kind of, but it's really old. It's actually aged. I've never handled this mold before. It's actually aged fairly well. I don't need, well, for me anyways, I don't need HK-47 to have crazy articulation because he's a droid, and in the game he basically just like stands around. Even when he's shooting, he doesn't really go into a crazy dynamic pose. He kind of just stands there and shoots. So you will see, though, if you're wondering, like, this guy's missing some articulation, and he's got some articulation that's really dated. And if you're wondering why, it's because this mold is reused from an ancient mold. But I guess it's fitting for a droid that's from the Old Republic. But I really like the colors and the paint, especially the head. I think that looks super good. I absolutely love this droid. He's definitely one of my favorite droid characters. He's super funny and cool in the game. He's definitely one of my favorite companions. Even when I'm not playing Dark Side, I'll still have him in my party just because I like having him. The silver brushing looks pretty nice, especially on the face. Unfortunately, they did the silver brushing on the front of the figure, but then they just didn't do it at all on the back, so that looks a little weird, but it's not too bad. I love the red eyes. That looks really good. Torso is cool, and they painted these little pistons and pipes and whatnot. It's just pretty nice, pretty nice. The knee joints and everything are painted. Yeah, he looks cool. I like this a lot. I don't know if this is the same paint job the original figure had or if this is a repaint, but yeah, looks like HK-47. In terms of articulation, like I said, he is a bit dated. He only has a swivel at the neck. Honestly, it's all he needs because in the game, all he does is rotate his head. He never does anything else. He doesn't pivot or anything, so that's fine with me. One weird articulation that I never even knew he had, he only has swivels at the shoulders, so you can only rotate them. You can't get them to go out. That's a little unfortunate. It would have been kind of nice if they had tooled new arms for him, even just new shoulder pieces for him. I feel like that couldn't have been too hard just to give him some outward movement. It's not a huge deal for this character, but yeah, it's a little. It's so weird seeing dated articulation like this on a new figure. At this day and age, anyways. Single hinges at the elbows actually bend in quite a bit, though. That's really nice, and they rotate. And then swivels at the wrists. Actually, that ball joint at the torso that moves really good. I am really surprised that goes back a lot. It even goes forward a fair amount for a 3 1/4 Star Wars figure, and pivots are really like crazy. Like that's kind of wild. Then he only has swivels at the hips. Again, would have been nice to have hinges, but I'm fine with the swivels. They're not that bad. Single hinges at the knees that go actually just a little, about 90 actually. And then single hinges at the ankles with no pivot because pivots basically didn't exist back then when they were making these figures. You're going to be careful with these hinges at the ankles. This joint definitely looks like it's already stressed. Yeah, you want to be careful with that. But yeah, honestly, the articulation's like not bad. It does have some weirdness to it because of the age, but this figure's aged a lot better than I expected it to, honestly. In terms of accessories, it just comes with one. This comes with a gun. I do believe this is a sculpt they've only ever used with HK-47 and then the repaint they did way back when for HK-50. I mean, maybe they've used it for another figure, but I don't think so. No paint on it, but it is sculpted nicely. It's pretty unique looking. And he has a trigger finger on the right hand, he can hold it. Like so. That's cool. You can get him the, I don't know. His other hand is basically meant for holding it in a two-handed pose. And that looks pretty nice. It is worth noting, though, that because he doesn't have wrist hinges, that he can't hold it in a proper aiming pose because of the design of the rifle. He can only ever hold it in this, like, upright position. So, like, yeah, he can only, like, hold it like he's at the ready. He can't really hold it to, like, shoot. Like, you can kind of have him holding it like that. So he's shooting, like, really from the hip. But you can't really get him to aim it. I wonder if maybe you can do something like this, like kind of fake it maybe. Let's see. Yeah, you can kind of fake it. So like if you fumble around with it a bit, if you don't have him actually holding the handle, you just have him mainly gripping it with his forearm or his other arm and then just have the trigger finger in the loop. You can kind of fake him holding it in the pose, aiming pose. I think that works like good enough. But yeah, I like this a lot, actually. I'm super happy they re-released this guy. Anyways, now we can do some comparisons. So, here he is, the Darth Revan, or the Revan, Jedi Revan with the new Darth Revan that also just released. So you can definitely see they're the same figure, but different colors for sure. I do prefer the Sith one. I'll always prefer the Sith one, but I also just think it's a better release. I think the paint and the paint detailing on the armor especially I think is better on the Sith one. I like the soft goods on the Sith one more. The Sith one also comes with more accessories. He has the red lightsaber as well as the purple one. So I do like that, and I didn't have to buy a 2-pack to get this one, so I think this one's better. And if you're going to pick one or the other, unless you have a really high preference for the Jedi one, I would get the Sith one because I think it's just better. I think it looks really good with HK as well. That looks nice. And then this isn't the first time we've gotten Jedi Revan as a figure. The first ever, alongside the heavy battle droid, the first ever Black Series Gaming Greats was Jedi Knight Revan. I think they also branded from Galaxy Heroes, and that's how they look together. There's actually some differences I didn't realize. The Black Series one has this brown like robe piece, and on it's white on the Vintage Collection one. The masks are different. Yeah, they're both pretty good figures. I'll be honest, I actually kind of like the Black Series one better in terms of look. It has a better, darker looking black wash that in the armor, I think just looks a bit better on the Black Series one. But no, they're both really good. So yeah. Overall, I think this is a really cool set. Um, I don't think it's an essential buy per se. This is definitely tailored towards Knights of the Old Republic fans. And for people like me who never got a chance to get HK-47, this is your chance to get it now. If you don't care really about these characters, or you don't care about getting this specific version of Revan and don't care so much about HK-47, it's an easy pass. And honestly, unless you really want these versions of the characters, for me, I'm a big fan of Revan, and I really like HK-47. I've wanted this figure for years, so for me, it was worth paying the money for it, even though I say it is overpriced a little bit. I would wait for a sale unless you really want this. But if you're a fan of Knights of the Republic, you won't regret this purchase. It's really awesome, and I'm really happy to especially have HK in the collection. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and I'll see you all in the next video. May the Force be with you.